Why Starfield needs mods, and how nudity, character optimization, NPC placement, and revealing clothing could enhance the game. Starfield, the highly anticipated space RPG from Bethesda, has received mixed reactions since its release. While many players praise the game's vast scale and the freedom it offers, there are also criticisms that have sparked discussions within the community. One recurring topic is the question of mods, and why it seems like no one is eager to create them. But why is that? And how could nudity, character optimization, NPC placement, and revealing clothing make the game more vibrant and immersive? Starfield and the modding community. Bethesda games are known for their vibrant modding communities. Titles like The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, and Fallout 4 have been kept alive for years thanks to mods. Mods not only enhance gameplay, but also introduce new content, improvements, and sometimes humorous or controversial elements. However, with Starfield, the modding community seems to be holding back. One reason could be that Starfield is technically more complex than its predecessors. The game uses a new engine, the Creation Engine 2, which means modders first need to learn how to work with it. Additionally, the game is still relatively new, and it often takes time for the first major mods to appear. Perhaps there's also a lack of inspiration. Despite the massive game world, Starfield feels somewhat sterile and lifeless in certain areas, which might dampen the motivation to create mods. Nudity in Starfield, a taboo topic? A topic that often comes up in discussions about RPGs is nudity. In Starfield, there are hardly any signs of nudity or erotic content, which might be disappointing for some players. This isn't necessarily about pornography, but rather about portraying human naturalness and allowing characters to feel more individualized. In games like The Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk 2077, nudity is often used as part of the narrative and world building. It adds to the immersion and shows that the developers aren't afraid to tackle mature themes. In Starfield, however, everything feels very clean and sterile, almost as if Bethesda deliberately avoided controversial content. This is where mods could come into play. Modders could, for example, add new clothing options, body models, or even romantic interactions that make the game feel more adult and realistic. Nudity doesn't always have to be explicit. It can simply help make characters feel more human and relatable. The missing character optimization in the Xbox version. Another point of criticism is the lack of character optimization options in the Xbox version of Starfield. While PC players can already use mods to fine-tune and optimize their characters, Xbox players are left without this option. This is particularly frustrating since Bethesda games traditionally have a strong console community. Mods that improve character creation are already available on PC, allowing players to customize their avatars in more detail. These mods could theoretically be implemented on Xbox, as Bethesda has shown in the past that they support mods on consoles, as seen with Skyrim and Fallout 4. Why this isn't the case with Starfield remains unclear. It could be due to technical limitations, or because Bethesda hasn't fully rolled out modding support for consoles yet. The challenge of NPC placement. Another aspect that could be improved in Starfield is the placement and integration of NPCs. Currently, it's relatively cumbersome to add a larger number of NPCs into the game world, which limits the possibilities for modders and players. A simpler and more user-friendly method for placing NPCs could make the game world feel much more alive and dynamic. In games like The Sims or Skyrim, it's relatively easy to create and place NPCs in the world. This allows players to tell their own stories and shape the world according to their vision. In Starfield, this flexibility is missing, which restricts the creative potential for modders and players. Improving this aspect could significantly revitalize the modding community and help keep Starfield relevant for longer. Revealing clothing as an expression of individuality. Another often overlooked aspect is the role of clothing in immersion. In a world as vast and diverse as Starfield's, clothing shouldn't just be functional, it should also contribute to the atmosphere. Revealing clothing can help make the game world feel more alive and realistic. It can make characters feel more human and believable, and add dynamism and interest to the game world. In many science fiction movies and series, like Star Trek or Firefly, clothing is often used to emphasize the personalities of characters and the atmosphere of the world. Why should Starfield be any different? More revealing clothing could make the game world even more fascinating and immersive. Mods as the solution. Of course, it's unlikely that Bethesda will integrate more revealing clothing or easier NPC placement into the game themselves. This is where mods come in. The modding community has shown in the past that it can improve and expand games in ways the developers never envisioned. Mods that add revealing clothing, improve character optimization, or simplify NPC placement could make Starfield feel more vibrant and engaging. There are already mods for games like Skyrim and Fallout 4 that add revealing clothing, significantly enhance character creation, and simplify NPC placement. Why shouldn't this be possible in Starfield? Modders could create new outfits that are not only aesthetically pleasing, but also enrich the game world and enhance immersion. Conclusion. Starfield is a game with a lot of potential that hasn't yet been fully realized. Mods could help improve the game and add new aspects that the developers didn't consider. Nudity, character optimization, NPC placement, and revealing clothing are just a few examples. The goal is to make the game feel more alive, mature, and personalized. At the same time, Bethesda should ensure that Xbox players can also benefit from these improvements, especially through the integration of mods for character optimization and easier NPC placement. It remains to be seen how the modding community will evolve in the coming months. One thing is certain, though. When the first major mods arrive, Starfield will be given a whole new lease on life. And who knows, maybe topics like nudity, character optimization, NPC placement, and revealing clothing will play a bigger role then. Do you have more ideas on how Starfield could be improved? Let me know by leaving a comment.